What I wore during my recent trip to Paris. Hi ladies, it's Erin and welcome back to my channel. Through my channel, my goal is to help you with your personal style, to help you look like the very best version of yourself every day. I recently had the wonderful experience of traveling to Paris with my husband Chris, just the two of us, no kids. Our first solo trip in 2 years and my first time back in Paris in 20 years. So a lot of you may not know, but when I was in college, I spent a semester in Paris. I was like 21-ish when I was there, and I lived in the 5e arrondissement, which is the 5th quarter, and I studied French at the Sorbonne. Do I remember any French? Juste un peu, a little bit, not much, because frankly, I don't use it. But that experience for me was eye-opening. I had not traveled even really outside the country before I went there. I had very little exposure to fashion, just what I got through fashion magazines. That experience really shaped me in so many ways. It opened my eyes to so many different things. And I made a joke on Instagram that when I first was there, my fancy pants were Gap chinos, and that really was true. I mean, I had no exposure to higher end brands and designers, and I had no exposure to street style. And looking around the streets of Paris at the Parisian women, it was amazing. I couldn't believe how beautiful and chic and sophisticated they all looked. It also was very off-putting for me. I felt very insecure at that time because I was like, wait, what? I look horrible compared to these women. So it was really a full circle experience and very cathartic for me to go back and experience it with my husband as a 44-year-old woman who has her own business and 2 kids, and I'm very secure now. And to have that experience walking around the city in the same neighborhoods I used to walk around in. And I went back and saw where I used to live in the street I used to live on. I went to my favorite park, the Luxembourg Gardens. Gosh, you guys think I'm a crybaby? Like, I'm such an emotional person. I just wanted to be in this city. I wanted to feel like I lived there again. We even stayed at an apartment while we were there because I wanted to have that feeling that I was a real Parisian again. I had come such a long way since I was that young 21-year-old woman, clueless with her fancy Gap chinos. It was a wonderful trip, but I wanted to share with you the things that I wore. If you missed my video about packing for this trip in a carry-on, which I did by the way, you should go back and watch that video for sure after you watch this one. And I walk you through some of the key tips to helping you pack with a carry-on for one of these sort of touristy European city trips. And then I also did a video on packing like a pro, and that really covers the resources you need in order to pack light. I know it sounds crazy, but you need certain resources in order to pull that off. Both of those videos are integral to watch, so I'll put links to those below. Let me get rid of the tears here. In this video, I want to walk you through the outfits that I wore. So the first day we arrived, and my sort of goal number 1 was to go back through the old neighborhood, walk down my old street, which was Rue des Bernardins, and it's right by the Seine River, and it's close to the Notre Dame. And I peeked into the old building where I used to live, which is now totally under renovation, so I couldn't walk in it. But it just was really amazing to have that like journey down memory lane. Then we went to the Luxembourg Gardens, which is one of my all-time favorite parks. It's so beautiful. We sat and just hung out for a little bit. We just walked all over that area. Went to the Sorbonne where I used to study, and it was really dreamy. I really enjoyed that. And the weather the first day was the best that it was the whole trip. I forgot that it's gray a lot there. I'm so spoiled here in Colorado where it's sunny a lot of the time. For that day, I wore something that was casual, pulled together, polished, and comfortable. It's a pleated skirt from Club Monaco that I just adore. It's a white and beige color blocked pleated skirt. Beautiful, be beautiful for the office, beautiful for spring, summer. Those of you who don't want to wear shorts, this is a great option, very lightweight. Careful with pleats, they will exaggerate a tummy, so it might not be great if you already have kind of a bigger tummy. You can kind of wear that and cover that up. I did that really with this sweater, so it's a mesh sweater that I wore. This one's from Nordstrom. I wore the scarf that I wore on travel day with this outfit, and then also a pair of just slip-on, open back, Ked-like sneakers, also from Club Monaco, with my white Givenchy bag. This is the one I showed you guys guys in a recent video. I like this bag so much because it's that bright white color that goes with everything, but then also it's very skinny, and I wanted something that was really slim fitting so that it was easy to travel with, and then also it wouldn't feel so bulky when I'm out and about. But it is so skinny you can't fit a lot of bulky stuff in it. It's like cards and lip gloss and maybe a pair of glasses, and that's it. I forgot to mention what I traveled in, which is important because when you're taking an international trip like that, you want to wear something that's very comfortable and something that's also very polished. One of the sort of ways that I can create the polish and sophistication while still wearing something very comfortable is to wear a trench. The trench like makes everything look so much more chic and elegant. So I wore my trench coat. This one's by Veronica Beard. I wish it were not sold out, but it is. They're great trenches from Club Monaco, Banana Republic, and J. Crew. Also, London Fog makes beautiful trenches. Underneath that, I just got on a white tunic and a pair of really comfy kind of boyfriend jeans by Mother, and I'll link those below. I wore the biggest, bulkiest shoes that I was bringing on the trip for my travel day. Not only were they the most comfortable, they were also the biggest, so I wanted to wear those so they didn't take up that valuable space in my suitcase. I wore the same exact outfit, by the way, on the way home. I just swapped out the top. So instead of the same tunic, I wore a different white top. The first evening we were there, I wanted to dress up the most because I was really excited. The adrenaline was pumping, the weather was great, and we were going to a really great steak restaurant. I wore a red Bailey 44 short sleeve fitted sheath dress with a white Smith jacket. That was my sort of fanciest outfit, and I wanted to wear that day one. I just was feeling like this was the time to do it. Day two was all day sightseeing. We went up to the Sacré-Cœur and we walked around the Montmartre area. And you know, that's the area where all the artists are painting portraits, and there's a lot of shops. There's also a lot of tourists. That was probably the busiest area of the city. I wore these really sweet wide leg cropped tan pants from Club Monaco. Unfortunately, these are now sold out, but there are versions of these pants and I can link a similar option below. I wore my chunky ugly sneakers. That is an actual thing. You can Google it, ugly sneakers. It's a trend. It's these sneakers that have this super high platform on the bottom. And I wanted the ugly sneakers because I thought they were cool. And then also I wanted some height and I wanted the comfort and the support. Because when you wear the small white leather sneakers, you don't get the same kind of support. And then I paired those pants with just a white bodysuit. You guys may remember this one from a Nordstrom video I did. It's by Something Navy. She's a blogger. And the same Smith white jacket, same white bag. And that was perfect. It was really comfortable. My feet didn't bother me at all. But again, if you watched the last video that I did about packing, I did talk a lot about blister prevention and what to do so that you do not get blisters. So be sure to go back and watch that, because I think that's really important, because once your feet start to hurt on a trip like this, it sort of like ruins the day. For that night, it was kind of drizzly and rainy, and I didn't want to really dress up a whole lot. I wanted to still be comfortable and warm, but elegant and chic. And so I wore this really beautiful high neck lace blouse from Waif, paired with my favorite jeans. They're J brand Natasha. These are cropped, so if you are petite like me, the length is perfect. You will get these and you'll be like, wow, these are awesome. They make you look super curvy and slim. They're just great, great jeans, and they're on sale right now, so I'll link those below. With this outfit, I wore booties, so you can't even tell they're cropped. These booties are new. I got them in California when I went to a boutique called Elise Walker, which you may know their online website called Forward by Elise Walker. So when I saw the boutique next to my hotel in Newport Beach, I was like, wait, what? I was so excited. So I went in there and bought these booties, and I just love them. This beige color will go with everything, and the booties are so comfortable, and they have a little manageable cone heel. Really chic and lovely and elegant, but also very comfortable. The next day, we popped out in the morning to go grab some baguettes, pain au chocolat, and I just wanted to like load up on all of the yummy like breakfast pastries. I just wore a pair of really dark wash jeans by Frame with the same white mules I showed you from the red dress look. This top is really sweet. It's very unusual and different. So it's one of those I always talk about. It's like a not so basic. So you have this white blouse, but it's really elevated because of the buckle detailing, and also the sleeves are really beautiful and the square neckline. It's just a really standout white blouse. This one is from Intermix by a line called the East Order. And my trench and the scarf. And then I was good to go grab some stuff in the Latin Quarter. The apartment where we stayed was right by a lot of different brasseries and cafes and patisseries and creperies, and we had everything within a 5-minute walk, which was awesome. And I knew the neighborhood, so that was a bonus as well. Later that day, we decided to walk all the way from the CCM, the 6th Quarter, to the L'Arc de Triomphe. So if you know Paris, you'll realize like that's a very long walk and it's a very aggressive walk. For that walk, I wore the same Frame jeans I just talked about, the dark wash skinny jeans, a white button-down shirt, which if you need a white button-down, by the way, this white button-down is so lovely. It's got a bit of ruching along the seam here and then these gold buttons. So it feels a little bit more special than just your typical white button-down. The beautiful thing is it's very fitted, but not too fitted. And it's also shorter. So if you want to wear it out and not tuck it in, it just falls like right over the top of your jeans. And if you're petite or you have a shorter torso, it's the perfect length top. And so this one is on sale right now. It's by Bailey 44. And it's just a great, great top. I wore the same trench and the same scarf with ballet flats, Tory Burch ballet flats in a cap toe. They're also on sale right now, by the way. Here's the thing. The ballet flats are awesome if you're planning to do like a mile or 2 miles. But if you're doing an aggressive walk like that, where it's like legit 7-8 miles, stick with your sneakers. Like don't deviate from the sneakers. My feet, by the time we hit the Champs-Elysees, were killing me. So we sat down, we had some coffee, although Chris doesn't drink coffee, and then walked down closer to the arch, and then hopped in an Uber and went back. And I was just so happy to not be walking anymore. They're great for shorter distances, still long distances, but not super long distances, if that makes sense. If you want a pair of ballet flats that will do that, I highly recommend that you get a pair of AGL ballet flats. They have the most support, they're the most comfortable, and I think they could potentially work for those kind of distances. The Tory Burch flats are comfortable, but they don't have the same arch support that the AGLs have. The AGLs are also more expensive. But I think that if this is what you want to wear for those longer walks, it's worth that investment. This was kind of the most quintessentially Parisian look, I think, of the trip, and was very comfortable, except for that last like mile on the Champs-Elysees. That night, I had planned to wear this really beautiful Zhivago dress with these very exaggerated 80s dynasty shoulder pads. I love this dress so much because it creates the look of a tiny waist with the waistband and the gold stitching detail. But what ended up happening was I went outside, I had my heels on and the dress on, and it was raining. And then I looked at Chris and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back up and change and put on some jeans because I'm cold and it's raining and I want to be comfortable. So the intention was there to wear this really fancy dress with heels, but in reality, I ended up wearing jeans. I switched into just a pink wrap front bodysuit by Amanda Upprichard with some dark wash jeans and those same beige booties that I had on before. I was really glad that I had options and again had that sort of mini capsule wardrobe where pieces could integrate and seamlessly work together, because based on weather, you do make different decisions. Not everything will go as planned. You may feel differently about wearing certain things and may want to change your mind. So it's nice to have a few options in the suitcase, and I was able to do that with the carry-on. To again, go back and watch that video if you missed it already. If you want to get links to all of these looks, I'll put them in the description box broken down by look. Also, you can go over to the Like to Know It app And you can shop all of my looks that I posted on Instagram that way as well, and that's a really easy app to use. Let me know if you guys have any questions at all. I would really love to hear your feedback about the outfits, and if you've found the holy grail of travel shoes, please share that with us. We would love to hear from you guys. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, I hope you will hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, I'm over on Instagram at Busbee Style there. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.